outside, driverless cars zoom by at a blistering speed mere inches apart. Yet there's no chaos, only choreographed order. These robotic chariots carry commuters to work with inhuman precision while anticipating hazards. Grandma smiles as her voice-activated robotaxi arrives to take her shopping. She hasn't driven in years. You glance around in wonder at bustling urban streets, now freed from gridlock by the machine-driven mobility utopia that lies before you. Dreams of the future have arrived. The age of humans at the wheel is coming to an end. Your autonomous adventure awaits. Are you ready? The age of autonomous vehicles brings profound safety benefits to society. According to studies by the NHTSA and others, over 90% of motor vehicle crashes are caused entirely or partially by human error. Distraction, slow reaction times, drunk driving, reckless behaviour, these flaws of human nature contribute to over 35,000 traffic fatalities in the US each year. Self-driving cars avoid these pitfalls entirely. With their sophisticated sensors, 360-degree awareness, and lightning-fast reflexes, autonomous vehicles are predicted to save tens of thousands of lives each and every year. A 2022 study by the Eno Center for Transportation estimates that if 90% of cars on American roads today were autonomous, accidents would fall from 6 million a year to 1.3 million, an incredible 80% reduction. Roads and highways could be dramatically safer than we ever thought possible. For many groups, including senior citizens, people with disabilities, and those unable to drive, fully autonomous vehicles unlock new levels of mobility and independence. Imagine an elderly woman living alone now, able to summon a driverless taxi whenever she needed to run her errands, visit doctors, or see family and friends. Or a blind man comfortably travelling across town in an autonomous pod designed for people with disabilities. 2022 census data shows over 30% of people 65 plus today live in suburban or rural areas with inadequate public transit options. Self-driving cars can easily fill these transportation gaps and reduce isolation. In addition to safety gains, autonomous cars bring drastic productivity increases for drivers freed from the focus needed for manually operating vehicles. Commutes, airport transfers, and long road trips can now be time spent working, reading, relaxing, or catching up with family. A 2022 McKinsey study estimates the productivity unlocked by autonomous vehicles could add over $800 billion annually to the American economy. When you consider over 75 billion hours are spent driving each year in the US, the possibilities are tremendous. Drivers become passengers, and travel time becomes useful or enjoyable time reclaimed. The self-driving future is just beginning. The environmental benefits of an autonomous vehicle future could be immense. With computer precision, self-driving cars can be programmed to accelerate and brake more smoothly, taking the most fuel-efficient routes. Recent studies in 2021 estimate eco-driving algorithms could improve fuel economy today by 10% or more. Additionally, autonomous technology enables vehicles to safely travel closer together in tight platoons. Less drag and airflow resistance between vehicles reduces energy consumption. Some predict a widespread deployment of self-driving vehicles could cut greenhouse gas emissions from transportation by a stunning 80%. Could the adoption of autonomous cars be a key tool in fighting climate change? Intelligent, connected autonomous vehicles also promise a solution to the frustrating traffic jams that clog our cities. Picture city streets where vehicles communicate real-time data and react as a unified system. Traffic signals could automatically adapt to optimize flow. Cars could identify ideal lanes and routes to avoid congestion. With split-second precision, vehicles could safely drive mere inches apart at highway speeds in dense platoons. Most enticingly, near endless strings of autonomous pods could merge into highways from side streets during busy periods. If vehicles reacted as an interconnected swarm, could rush-hour traffic jams become a thing of the past? Step inside the autonomous vehicle of the future and prepare for an experience transformed. With no need for traditional manual controls like pedals and steering wheels, radical new interior designs are possible. Fully reclining sleeper seats for napping on long trips, wraparound entertainment screens, tables for meals or meetings, and more. Vehicle interiors could resemble moving living rooms, hotels, or offices. For passenger comfort, vehicle bodies might spin and swivel to counteract G-forces when cornering and braking. Our expectations of in-car experiences will be completely reinvented in the autonomous age. However, major infrastructure and policy challenges must be addressed before the self-driving future can be fully realised. Roads, highway markers, signage, traffic signals and more may need upgrading to work with autonomous systems. Dedicated lanes and intersections for self-driving vehicles will likely be needed in some areas during the transition period. Metropolitan transport hubs could serve as strategic distribution points for autonomous vehicle fleets. Changes to traffic laws, safety regulations, liability rules and insurance will be required as technology evolves. Perhaps a Federal Bureau of Autonomous Vehicles may eventually oversee and regulate this transformative transportation mode. With careful infrastructure planning and political leadership, a bold new autonomous era beckons, but the road ahead still remains filled with obstacles. The path to an autonomous future will be an extended transition, likely taking decades, where robot vehicles share the roads with human drivers. This mixing of modes poses social and technological challenges. For safety, autonomous cars must be programmed to handle unpredictable human drivers making errors or aggressive moves. Yet some worry this could encourage risky behaviour, humans pushing self-driving cars around. Until the vast majority of vehicles are autonomous, difficult human factors will remain. Policies around licensing and training will need rethinking too. Perhaps prospective autonomous vehicle owners should complete mandatory operating courses, similar to a driver's license for manually controlled cars. But how to license vehicles with no driver? Requirements may vary by autonomy level and vehicle type. Policymakers face tricky debates around rights, risks and regulations during the transition period. But despite the challenges ahead, it is clear autonomous vehicles will usher in a mobility revolution with the power to transform lives. Imagine elderly couples freely travelling the country in plush autonomous RVs, enjoying sunset views from their reclining seats. Visualise sprawling parking lots and suburban driveways replaced by vibrant green spaces, community gardens and play areas, as less parking is needed with autonomous taxi fleets. Central urban zones could be redesigned as parks, bike paths and pedestrian plazas, with small driverless shuttles whisking people between the outskirts and downtown. The potential ripple effects on urban planning, family life, leisure time and more are enormous. Autonomous vehicles may reshape the very fabric of our cities and society. Yet self-driving technology holds both promise and peril. Without proper planning, it could concentrate services in wealthy areas, leaving marginalised communities further disconnected. Job losses in freight and transport may disrupt local economies. Cyber threats and data privacy issues loom as potential downsides too. The transition will be complex and have unintended consequences if not equitably managed. But equipped with vision, compassion and inclusive values, we can guide this autonomous revolution towards the greatest societal benefit. The technology itself is neither inherently good nor bad. It offers tools that we must wisely aim toward justice, sustainability and quality of life improvements. Driverless vehicles are arriving, and the future will not design itself. With open minds and progress for all, our world can be transformed for the better.